You're listening to the AstroMommy Daily Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the AstroMommy community. I hope you enjoyed today's horoscope and card reading. If you would like to support the AstroMommy newsletter, there are several ways to do so. Subscribe on Substack, share it with a friend, schedule a reading, check out my family's Etsy shop, Metaphysical Flamingo, or just leave a tip. Without further ado, here is the Daily Horoscope. Moon in Libra, Trine Venus in Aquarius, and Friday the 13th. Daily Horoscope for Friday, January 13th, 2023. Good morning, friends. Okay, let's get into the astrology. Oh my goodness, it's Friday the 13th. Whenever the 13th day of the month falls on a Friday, it's impossible to not think of the franchise of Friday the 13th movies, which I honestly haven't ever watched. But I also have thoughts about the 13 new and full moons of the year. The fact that we have 13 cycles of about 28 days a year is very interesting to me. I wonder why the number 13 got vilified in the first place. I think about the corresponding tarot card, 13, death, which means transformation, change, sacrifice, and surrender. And I think about Venus having just moved to 13 degrees, which is actually the 14th ordinal degree within the 30 degrees of Aquarius. But nonetheless, Venus is at 13 degrees, 1 minute of Aquarius today, on Friday the 13th, and Friday is Venus's day. This number 13 piqued my curiosity about the Sabian symbol for where Venus is located right now and led me down a little astrological rabbit hole. A Sabian symbol is a symbolic interpretation of every degree of the zodiac. This method was discovered by American astrologer Mark Edmund and medium Elsie Wheeler back in the 1920s. Astrologer Linda Hill shares these symbols and their interpretations on her website, sabiansymbols.com. They are really interesting and fascinating to apply to whatever degree of the planet that you are looking at. For instance, 13 degrees Aquarius 1 minute, where Venus is right now, is the 14th ordinal degree of Aquarius, and the Sabian symbol reads, Aquarius 14, a train entering a tunnel. Quote, this shows being able to go straight ahead towards your objectives without being distracted or led off your path. The train enters a tunnel, is on one track that leads in a certain direction, and it doesn't deviate or stop to assess where it's going. It simply keeps going straight ahead. You may need to cut through the obstacles in life and go straight ahead, regardless of the unseen hazards you may encounter along the way. You have a great deal of drive and many others are likely to be with you, so plow on. Push through, making sure that you pay attention to others' needs along the way. Deep penetration, cutting through the details. Persistence, shortcuts to a desired end, going for the objective, near-death experiences, heart bypasses, physical, emotional, and spiritual, being overcautious, taking the long way around, tunnel vision, cutting people off, a one-track mind that doesn't allow for detours or deviations, cold responses, unquote. This is very interesting, considering that Venus in Aquarius is in a mutual application to a square with Uranus in Taurus retrograde. This transit may symbolize a sudden upheaval in one's life that has to do with our relationships, values, or money, and it could throw us off or maybe on course. It's interesting that the Sabian symbol for the degree that Venus is traveling through should suggest staying the course, like a train on the tracks going in one direction and going through a tunnel. When one is on a train and in a tunnel, it's impossible to see what you've left and where you're going to emerge. You can only focus on the present moment in the tunnel until you near the end and you can actually see the exit. The exit may actually be the square with Uranus, which will happen over the weekend when they both reach 14 degrees 58 minutes of their respective signs, which is actually the 15th ordinal degree. The Sabian symbol for the 15th degree in Aquarius, where Venus will meet Uranus, reads, Aquarius 15, two lovebirds sitting on a fence and singing happily. Quote, this shows the need to enjoy relationships, to share in the joy and camaraderie that can come from being part of a couple, or enjoying your friends and their relationships. Singing and making statements about love can bring happiness to those nearby and lift the spirits of all involved. There may be a feeling of contentment, pleasure, commitment, and enjoyment of your partnership. However, is this really based on taking an uninvolved or non-committed position, sitting on a fence? Perhaps you find it difficult to actually commit one way or the other. To choose invites risks of separation, but conviction probably eventually needs to be chosen or rejected. Faith in love or waiting for signs to commit, friendship and companionship, fences, borders, and barriers, showing love, mating for life, honest communications, barriers, failing to ever commit, sitting on the fence, waiting to see what others will do, being stuck when one would rather fly off and be free, neighborhood disputes, unquote. So a train entering a tunnel and then two lovebirds sitting on a fence and singing happily. It sounds like when it comes to our relationships, our values, and our financial commitments, we are headed on a specific course, and then we will come to a place where we have to make a decision. The square between Venus and Uranus is building up and perfecting on Saturday, so you could already be struggling with the need to make a choice about something. There may be things or people you have to let go of, or ideals that you thought you needed to hang on to. Once you make the choice, you will feel freer. Today, the Sun in Capricorn perfects his sextile to Neptune, so there may be an opportunity that arises that feels spiritually destined. You may feel like you have some clarity about something and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The moon today is in the sign of Libra and will be traveling from 1 degree to 13 degrees. While the moon is going through Libra today, she will form an opposition to Jupiter in Aries, a trine to Mars in Gemini, now direct, a sesquiquadrate to Saturn, a square to Mercury, another opposition but this time to Chiron, and then she will finish the night by hitting 13 degrees of Libra and forming a trine to Venus in Aquarius. So let's break this down. The moon is busy, busy, busy today, and you may feel busy, busy, busy too. The moon in Libra wants to create peace, harmony, and balance in our lives, and she strives for that by being diplomatic, easygoing, and charming. Sometimes people can act a bit superficial when the moon is in Libra because they are trying to keep the peace. This can also lead to indecisiveness and feeling wishy-washy about something. There may be a standoff going on inside yourself between your big picture goals and what feels right and just. There's a dilemma that is happening internally. But today there will be movement and things will flow forth like a boat being carried by the current. There are still things to navigate around, rocks in the water, that may delay your progress, but changes to your environment or to your plan will be made and you will course correct in order to dodge the obstacles. You may have to let go of old wounds and forgive someone or something in order to continue advancing forward, but you will do what is needed and it will feel wonderful to release this old baggage. By the end of the night, you may feel like you have hit a green light and you can proceed with happiness. Let's move on to the card for the day. What is the guidance for today? 4. Venus, love. How wonderful. I love this card. I think this card coming up for today, especially since Friday is Venus's day, is so fitting. Venus is all about love, relationships, pleasure, beauty, sweetness, and valuable things like money and jewels. As the card for the day, I feel this is a wonderful omen that means paying attention to the things we love, value, and the relationships that we have that are supportive, loving, and like two birds singing together. Be thankful for the pleasures and sweetness that are in your life, and do things to show you care and value them. This includes yourself, so make sure you take care of yourself today as well. I would love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment. I hope this is helpful. Until tomorrow, AstroMommy.
Thank you for reading or listening to the daily forecast. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. Today's card was pulled from the Black Moon Astrology cards available on Amazon. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a small commission, but there are no additional costs to you. I don't share or recommend things that I don't 100% believe in and use myself. Thanks for listening.